Host of the Hannah Faulkner Show, Jackson Gosnell, a Gen Z political commentator. Good to have you with us. Jackson, to you first. Certainly appears to be a win for parents in California, but the idea that the governor actually wanted to punish parents because of their child's particular gender is just obscene. What say you?
Well, it's good to be with you. This is why people are fleeing California. It's because the government thinks it owns your kids. If you've got to hide it from parents, they already know that it's wrong. California has been putting children at risk for a long time now. They're not protecting children. They're cutting parents out of their own families because they think that parents are the enemy. And that isn't the case. It isn't about tolerance. It's about secrecy. And of course, secrecy is never about protecting kids.
You know, Hannah, the judge cited parental involvement and said it was essential to the healthy development of school kids. I mean, this is just basic common sense here. But the idea that we're having to fight for these ideas in a courthouse, what does that tell you about where we are as a country right now?
Well, I think it tells you that we did not defeat communism in the Cold War. I think people have this idea that communism is over, that communism is not here in the United States of America. But if Gavin Newsom and frankly, the communist Democrats had it their way, they would impose cradle to the grave theory all across the country. We saw what Barack Obama did in 2009, publishing his Life of Julia ad, where essentially you are born into the government and you die as a slave to the government. They want to hide these things from parents because they do not want parental involvement, furthering their very communist position. We saw what Mao Zedong did under Mao's Cultural Revolution. It's happening here under the Democrats' authoritative rule in the United States of America right now. Very scary stuff.
Yeah, Jackson, here's another win for families. Angel Studios, they have an animated musical, David. Turns out a major milestone, $22 million in just 1 week at the box office. It is the top faith-based animated opening of all time, surpassing The Sound of Freedom. What does this tell you about what moms and dads are looking for?
Well, this movie proves that America is hungry for faith again. You no longer need Hollywood's approval when you have American values. And it isn't just a movie. This is a cultural shift, and we're seeing it across the country because Americans are tired of being lectured. They want stories that are rooted in faith, family, and hope. We're saying Merry Christmas again. And that's not because we're forcing it. It's because people believe it and people have a drive and a hunger for this stuff again. Hollywood has chased trends for years, but middle America is showing them. They're showing up, and I'm really happy this is a success. I'm a big fan of Angel Studios. I think faith doesn't divide Americans, it grounds us, and the success we're seeing in this movie proves that when you respect the audience actually shows up, and that's what we're seeing at the box office with this.
Yeah, look, I completely agree with that. Hannah, do you think Hollywood's going to get the message?
Well, we just recently saw a poll. Concerned Women for America actually just put out a recent study showing that 41% of Netflix kids shows have LGBTQIA, Rainbow Mafia, whatever the recent letter they've added to it. 41% of their children shows have LGBTQ characters in them. So I think this shows that Americans, parents, and really just children and young people as a whole are fed up. They are ready for faith, family, freedom, and this movie's ratings at the box office, as Jackson just said, is proving that point exactly.
You know, one of the other interesting stories we've seen coming out of Christmas, Jackson, we're hearing reports that many churches across Europe have been inundated with young people, especially going back to church. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's exactly to be expected. I hope a similar thing happens in the United States. I think a lot of people turn back to faith in wake of what happened with Charlie Kirk. I just came from America Fest, where there were tens of thousands of young people. I think there is a spiritual awakening that's happening across the country. It's happening across the world, too. I'm encouraged by it, and I hope it continues.
Hannah, I want to give you the last word. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the most suicidal, most depressed, anxiety-ridden generation, and I don't think it's any coincidence when you try to propagate this idea of evolution, that you come from nothing, you're going to nothing. Well, what is that signaling to this next generation? You are nothing. And so Gen Z's fed up with it. They're ready for something meaningful, ready for something purposeful, and that is what they are finding is in their identity in Jesus Christ and going back to church and finding their faith in Christ.
All right, Hannah Faulkner, Jackson Gosnell. Guys, thank you. Good to see you. Stay with us, folks. We have more news ahead.